Is it really worth it going for the Galaxy S26 Ultra instead of Galaxy S25 Ultra? Although S25 Ultra is on a really good deal from Samsung, which you can avail from prior listed in this video. Well, everything is confirmed about the Galaxy S26 Ultra. We got the specs, the whole specs of S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra, and now we know is it good to go with the S25 Ultra compared to the S26 Ultra. I'll talk about design and cameras later. But first, let's take a look at the specs and what is different on S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. So we got the display on S26 Ultra 6.9 inches, exactly same as S25 Ultra. We got the Gorilla Glass Armor 2nd generation, which is the same as S25 Ultra, and 120Hz panel, which is same as S25 Ultra. Although Samsung is using M14 panel on S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra, and that privacy display. We got a bunch of new teasers about the Galaxy S26 Ultra, and all of those teasers were showing us the privacy display. It's not just a small update, it's a massive update, and it is built into the display, which means we are not going to see a privacy display feature on S25 Ultra. This could be a sole feature for many people to go with the Galaxy S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra, and even Apple is thinking about using this feature in MacBooks later in 2029. Yes, this feature is really impressive, and Samsung is actually marketing this as really well in multiple teasers. Now, display is aside, we got the new processor on Galaxy S26 Ultra. I'll share numbers later. Right now, let's talk about which processor we are getting. We are getting Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. We're not going to see Exynos 2600 in S26 Ultra because worldwide we are getting Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. It is an overclocked version, and we got a really good scores, which I'll talk later in this video. We got 12 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of RAM on S26 Ultra with 3 storage variants, 256 gigs, 512 gigs, and 1 TB version, almost similar to the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Now, the cameras are where things got interesting. Galaxy S26 Ultra almost got similar specs as S25 Ultra, but there are small things that are changed compared to the S25 Ultra. So we got 200 megapixel sensor, which is HP2, same as S25 Ultra, but we got the lower aperture, f1.4 compared to the f1.7 on S25 Ultra. Why it is important? Because the low light imaging on S26 Ultra will be better compared to the S25 Ultra. Even Samsung shared multiple teasers to showcase how the night photography is better on S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. The second sensor is also 50 megapixel periscope, but this one is also getting better aperture compared to the S25 Ultra. The third lens, which is a 50 megapixel ultra wide, is exactly same as S25 Ultra. The fourth one, interestingly, the 10 megapixel telephoto sensor is getting smaller sensor compared to the S25 Ultra. 1/3.94 inches sensor, which is smaller compared to the S25 Ultra. Well, a lot of debate are happening why Samsung just gave us a smaller one, but yeah, this is a reality. It is smaller compared to the S25 Ultra. Now, the front camera is getting different. We got 12 megapixel wide angle sensor, but the front camera is getting a wider field of view. We can fit more people on S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. And also, the front selfie shooter is bigger compared to the S25 Ultra. We got samples, and yeah, it is true, it is bigger compared to the S25 Ultra. Some people like it and some people don't, but this is a reality. We are getting a wider field of view, but yes, the front selfie shooter is bigger. Now, the battery is something we really need to talk about. Samsung is using the exact same battery on S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. Yes, there is no chance we're getting 5200 or even 55. We're just getting 5000 mAh battery confirmed from the official spec sheet. But there's one update, which is the charging speed, 60 watt compared to the 45. Well, honestly speaking, we're not going to see a massive difference in charging speeds, but it is good to see Samsung is actually updating the charging speed. Well, the S26 Plus also got a 45 watt of fast charging, but the base model S26 is stuck at 25 watt, even though the cheaper A series are getting 45 watt. Now, the dimensions are also confirmed, and we are getting 7.9mm thickness compared to the 8.2 on S25 Ultra, so slightly thinner compared to the S25 Ultra. We also got a weight of the phone, which is 214 grams, lighter compared to the S25 Ultra, and yeah, we're getting 4 color options: white, purple, black, and blue, and these are the official colors. We may see some online exclusive color on S26 Ultra. And the pricing in the US market is almost similar compared to the S25 Ultra. The reservation is just started, but they are just giving us $30 instead of $50 Samsung usually gave to the users. Now, let's talk about the design of Galaxy S26 Ultra. Yes, the back camera design is changed, and this thing will wobble on the table like crazy. Even if you put a case on it, this thing will still wobble on the table. The S Pen design is also changed. We got different color options on the S Pen, and even the clickable button is changed on S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. Some people like the design of S26 Ultra and other like the S25 Ultra, but that cheap looking camera rings on S25 Ultra are no more on S26 Ultra. And yeah, the S26 Ultra is rounded compared to the S25 Ultra, and that era, like the S24 Ultra sharp boxier design is no more on S26 Ultra. It is more or less like the S26 Plus or even the S26 base model. And we got more information about the Galaxy S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra.
Samsung is going to change the processor, we all know. Don't worry, Exynos 2600 is not coming on S26 Ultra. Instead, Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is here, and the scores are impressive. And this one is the real clock version of the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. It scored 3,815 single-core score and 11,555 multi-core score. This is just impressive stuff from Samsung. This phone is clocked at 4.7 GHz, which is insane. And according to Universe, the single-core score reaches 3,815, a level that Exynos 2600 simply cannot achieve. It's also worth noting the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy uses a higher clock GPU running at 1300 MHz. This makes it the most powerful processor in the Android ecosystem right now. And while we don't know if Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra will run at 4.7 GHz with the sustained performance, since we heard about heating issues at this much speed. But Samsung is adding a bigger vapor chamber to control that heat on S26 Ultra and may control the clock speed and balance out the performance and sustainability. By the way, while checking the model number, this is not the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Instead, these scores are from Galaxy S26 base model, so we can see the similar performance on Galaxy S26 Ultra.
While we talked a bunch about changes, Universe lists 7 reasons why S26 Ultra is better to get. Meanwhile, the S26 Ultra is worth having for 2026 with 7 potential reasons. There are a bunch of changes coming on S26 Ultra. Even one of the potential changes is the design of S26 Ultra. But today is more about what Samsung is bringing to the table, which is better on S26 Ultra compared to previous generations. And there's a source who compiled all the changes. According to Universe, why the only model worth considering is the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Samsung will reserve its newest and most advanced AI features for the S26 Ultra. Even the S25 Ultra will likely need to wait several months to receive these capabilities through updates. The new 60-watt wired charging and 25-watt of wireless charging represent a major upgrade for Samsung users, and both are exclusive to the S26 Ultra. This one is already confirmed. The new private screen intelligent anti-peeping display is also limited to the Galaxy S26 Ultra. This is a highly marketable feature that YouTubers will repeatedly showcase, turning it into a major selling point. This is probably the most awaited feature people are waiting for the S26 Ultra. A larger camera aperture will lead to real-world improvements in image quality. For example, an f1.4 aperture will deliver better optical results in portrait photography. Telephoto performance is also expected to improve, and Samsung may introduce an AI telephoto algorithm similar to Google's to enhance clarity. While a main 200 megapixel is getting an update, there's a big thing going on with the 3x telephoto sensor where even I said a downgrade, which is obviously difficult to justify if Samsung would do it. On the video side, Samsung is expected to introduce APV technology, which should significantly improve overall image quality. The front-facing camera will have a wider field of view, making it easier to fit 2 people into a single selfie. The front-facing camera size is also larger on S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra, which was already shared in the render. Additional upgrades that have not yet been disclosed, primarily on the software side. On the software level, I can say S26 Ultra is bringing some crazy feature as Samsung is ready for the 2026 AI stuff, although S25 Ultra will get it later down the line. On this note, if you're still here, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time. Until then, peace out.